And get them out, hold them up. That's your sideline pass. Is good once again, like it is each every week, right here when you tune into the Coaches Show and the Sideline Show on Buzz TV. Thanks for joining us, however you're doing it. We appreciate you spending your time with us. Again, it's Coach Lenny Jankowski, Athletic Director and Head Football Coach of Village High School. Knucklehead to the right of me. That's Derek, and I'm Jason. And we appreciate you being here, Coach. Back-to-back undefeated seasons. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Great to be here. Good to see everybody.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you for the congratulatory comments. It was obviously a very fun regular season. A lot of individual accomplishments. You mentioned, being undefeated for the second year in a row. So super proud of our guys, and we're on to the next thing, which is the playoff season, and looking forward to that as well.
I got to ask you now. I asked you last week, what was the bus like after the Central game? What was the bus like on the ride home after the Sebastian game? What a game! Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. It was a very fun game. Obviously, there were some heroics there at the end, and we were able to come away with a big win. Really, just a lot of good football played throughout the game. Throughout the 48 minutes, we overcame a ton of adversity throughout the game. It wasn't our typical flow, as I told our players and our coaches that we continue to find different ways to win games, and this game was a low-scoring game, fairly uncharacteristic of what our fans are used to. But that was just the style and the flow of the game. It was 0-0 at halftime. We ended up winning 14-10. It was some great plays, throughout that. But the bus ride was exciting. It was exciting. The kids were excited. But I think, and we've talked about the maturity of this group. I think that they were excited about the win, but on to the next challenge pretty quick. As early as Saturday morning, when we bring the guys in for a quick workout and check on injuries, our guys seem to be ready to move on and on to the next challenge, which is Gateway this week.
You see behind us, we're going to run through film in the next two segments, but right now I want to talk about, it is the rivalry, and it seems like this really moving around is every bit of what Buck Saints bring to the table.
Yeah, I mean, if any Bucks or Saint fans were there, I think that's immediately what they think of.
It's interesting. In past shows, you talked about not scoreboard watching or scoreboard comparison. Is this one of those games where fans shouldn't be like scoreboard watching just because of the score, because they're so used to you blowing people out? It's like a win is a win at the end of the day.
No doubt, and I think that's what everybody inside our football family, so to speak, understands. I think the outside perception, that you just get caught up into thinking a certain way, and as we looked at in preparation for the Sebastian game, we're seeing scores, 62-0 against Port St. Lucie, and I think it was 60-something to nothing, and some big scores, and really just steady improvement throughout the season. They played Heritage close. It was their only district loss, and I just I see a very talented team there. I think their coaches work very hard, and I see a group that, you can buy into the gamesmanship too. Sometimes, and I joke with this with Coach Pettis that he in one breath he's wanting to cancel the game, and in the next breath, he's got 25 Division I players. So, thank goodness I can admit I didn't buy any snake oil from him. But I think in preparation for that game, we certainly had the utmost respect for him, and obviously. Throughout the game, we dealt with some turnovers at some key times, obviously some plays that were called back, and just some things that were in and out of our control, and I think we dealt with them the best that we could, and the thing that I was most impressed with from our players' standpoint and our coaches was that there was never any sense of panic. I think that as the game played out, it was whatever the situation was, I think we were ready to handle it accordingly. And then in the end, the big touchdown pass, the 35-yard touchdown pass. But that last drive as a whole, I think that our guys were focused and fulfilled the ultimate goal, which was to win the game. So yeah, I think it was the inside. We handled it accordingly. I think sometimes the outside perception is, oh my gosh, we're going up there, or we're going here, we're going there, and it's going to be a blowout. But there's a lot of good teams and a lot of good players throughout this state.
my kind of game defensively. I mean,
There you go.
It was a chess match. You guys were looking for numbers, figuring out what, but the defenses from both teams really stepped up, Coach. And it tells a lot about your team. You look at the season you've had to go through the Central game and now this. I mean, you got to feel really good going to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I think that for this point in the season, I think that our team's relatively healthy. I think we have played well. I don't know that we've played our best game yet, because when you talk about putting all three phases together and playing, relatively mistake-free in all three phases, I don't know that we've seen that yet. But super proud of how we've figured out how to win games, and the Central game we get out early, then have to hold on late and preserve the win, so to speak. This game, we don't catch some breaks, or they're tied at halftime, and it looks like we're going to go up a couple scores, turn the ball over, and then we need to win it in the end. And so I'm very pleased with where we're at and looking forward to the playoffs.
So there you go. We're going to come back after this break and take you through the first half, and then the second half with the video and Coach Jankowski. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Coaches Show on the Sideline on Buzz TV.
Join us for an adventure weekdays at 4:30 and 8:30 on Buzz TV Network.
Hi, I'm Carolyn.
And I'm Jim. Together we are the Live Now real estate team at RE/MAX Associated Realty.
We know the Sebastian area real estate market very well, and we also know that buying or selling a home can be very serious business.
But together we can reduce the stress and even have fun in the process. Along with our hundreds of satisfied clients, we really want you to live now and be happy too.
Contact us at thelivenowteam.com.
See you soon.
Buzz TV Network is now the fastest growing new media outlet on the Space and Treasure Coast. Follow Buzz TV Network and tell a friend.
And welcome back. It's the Coaches Show on the Sideline and Buzz TV. Thanks for joining us. Like I promised, we're here with Coach Lenny Jankowski, head football coach for Beach High School. We're going to go through the first half of the Sebastian Shark game. What a game it was, Coach.
All right, here we go.
User difficulty.
All right, this is just an offsides penalty that we start the video off with. I think we had, as Jason mentioned, we had 4 in the first half, and really I felt like we played great defense in that first half and extended drives, which we can't afford to do. I mean, some of their best plays were our offsides penalties, and really what it did was it flipped the field, and it caused for the field position to work in their favor, and ultimately caused us some problems getting going and staying in the flow of the game. Well, there's the 5 yards they're marking off there.
Definitely didn't want to see that, Coach.
No. All right, here we are on defense again. We were able to get some pressure and penetration. There's a bunch of guys. I think you see Sean Snipes and Corvin Moment and Romance Snell. Those guys are all playing very, very well and playing at a high level. There's, again, a negative play. Had a bunch of negative plays, held them to a bunch of negative plays there. That's Davion Cross, number 24, another guy that had a very nice game for us. Some more defense here. There's a tackle in the backfield by Calvin Moment, number 31, our senior defensive linebacker. So another big play, another big defensive play.
Quietly having a big year.
He is. He's having a great season. All right, here we are on offense. This is a big play. They went to a what we call cover zero check there, which is straight man coverage, and Carson was able to buy some time, get the ball off there to Chris Larson, and a big completion there.
Here's
a fourth down play, and the play before we missed on a throw, and on a third down play, and then we went for it there on fourth down, and came up short, just missing MJ, and turned the ball over on downs. That was one of the possessions in the first half. We only had 4 offensive possessions in the first half. That was one of the ones that we had an opportunity to score on. We'll see another one here in a minute. There it is. That's Romance Snell again on a big quarterback sack. Really just having a, like as Jason said, he's another one having quietly a very good season.
Huge.
Okay, here they are on 4th down. We get an batted ball down by Caleb Coleman. Caleb's been steady, number 3 there at corner. Had another good game. Had a great game against Fort Pierce Central, and back-to-back very good football games. Some more defense. This is Caleb on the pick. Comes down with his foot in bounds, and we actually got a call on their sideline, so that worked out great.
Good awareness.
So, yeah,
foot
yeah.
down, especially on their sideline, like it help
Right,
a little bit.
right. It's tough to get the correct call on the opposing team's sideline. Okay, here's another big throw and catch. That's Chris Larson and Carson Proctor to Chris Larson. Chris Larson, our senior receiver, having a great season. Okay, this is 2nd down. This was that was the last play of the first half here, where we had an opportunity. We're in their territory. Really thought we had an opportunity to maybe stick one in there right before half, and bare minimum maybe get a field goal, and we throw the pick, and we end up 0-0 at halftime. So.
And in your turnover game, you're +1 and -1, so it was even going into half. And then, so what was the mindset when going into halftime? What was the message?
You know, the message was really just I didn't think that we were playing awful. I thought that we were shooting ourselves in the foot defensively. You know, in a 0-0 game, you'd say, oh, well, how could you say anything negative about the defense? But really, their best plays were penalties for us, I felt like, and I felt like we were commanding and dictating what we needed to do defensively. But the field position, you know, we had opportunities to flip the field, and you know, what I mean by that is you know, our defense playing as well as they were allowing Sebastian to maintain possession and continue drives. And you know, as you say, unforced errors, you know, offsides, penalties, things like that. And so they continue those drives and then punt the ball, and then, you know, you end up on the bad side of the field position game. So yeah, the message was, look, I don't think we need no panic button or anything like that. We just need to clean some things up and play a better second half.
So the first half was knotted. When you go into the locker room, 0-0, a complete game going on. Defense really stepping up. You know, turnover game was pretty much even with the Sharks. So you had a message to say, let's go out there, just clean up a little bit, and let's take it to them in the second half. And Coach, I believe that's what you did. We'll see what happens when we come back. After these messages, we're going to break down the second half with Coach Lenny Jankowski right here on the sideline and Buzz TV. We'll see you after the messages.
Attention, this important message is for any American who is about to turn 65 years of age or older. Nation's Helpline has Medicare supplement insurance news that may benefit you, your family, or someone you know. Most Americans who are about to turn 65 years old know they need Medicare supplement insurance, even if they already have Medicare. The Nation's Helpline Medicare supplement team can guide you and help answer your Medicare questions. Call today.
Please call 800-632-2804.
One-of-a-kind videos, unique perspectives, original programming, only on Buzz TV Network. Spread the word and tell a friend.
And welcome back to the second half of the Coaches Show on the Sideline and Buzz TV. Thanks for joining us. We're here with Coach Lenny Jankowski, and we're going to break down the second half of now what I'm going to call the rivalry game.
There you go.
It is now a rival game, Coach, after this performance between the Sebastian Sharks and your Vero Beach Fighting Indians. Let's get to it. You guys are on offense here in the first possession.
Here we go. Again, suffering from some field position issues. We start this possession at our own 1. They had a great punt, pinned us back at the 1. Akeem has 2 back-to-back very good runs. Had a great game. Another game where he went over 100 yards. And so that's a big run for him, getting us out of the hole a little bit. Okay, here we are on offense again. This is a first down play. This is a handoff to MJ. Use MJ in the backfield a little bit. MJ McGriff gets us out a big, it looked to be about an 18-yard run or so. And you know, I think this leads to our first score, if I'm not mistaken.
Pretty much nothing turns into something, right?
Right, there you go.
A lot of penetration on that.
All right, here again.
This is huge.
This is a fourth down catch, throw and catch. Great throw by Carson, maybe even a better catch by Chris Larson there in traffic. Big hit by 22 Parks, and we were able to hang on for a first down. Okay, this is Jeremiah Pearson coming in. He and Akeem have been rotating on the offensive side of the ball, running back, and we get some fresh legs in there with Jeremiah, and he takes advantage and gets us in for the first touchdown.
1:22 left in the third quarter, Coach.
There you go.
Finally to score.
Right. Okay, this is again a negative tackle for loss. That's Corvin moment, getting somebody's crowd excited.
Another kid just having a great year, and he's a junior.
He is a junior. Good player. All right, here he is on Sebastian, quarterback on the play action. We get called for what they say is a horse collar, but we just tackled him by the shirt. You know, that's a tough call on the officials' part. They're trying to get it right, and
you know, on that, is it because maybe tensions were high, so we don't want to let this maybe fire up another opposing team or something like that? Is that maybe why they call that? Because to me, it looks like it was pretty plain that he had his jersey.
It's pretty plain. You know, I think more than anything, and I don't mean this in the wrong way, where the play happens on their sideline, there's a lot of noise over there, whether it's them or us or wherever. And I think when you see somebody going backwards, that one must assume that they've grabbed the back of the shoulder pad or something to that effect.
Like your player is too strong. Like he grabbed it just didn't look right, so they assumed it was something else, correct?
Yeah, I think so. You know, but I you know, like I said, that's Davion Cross that makes the play, and it's a great play, and it turns out to be a huge turning point in the game, because that was a third down play, and that extends the drive, and you know, like I said, things just weren't going our way, and we still were able to overcome and get the W.
Now you get a stop there. I didn't get a chance to hold it, but the goal line stand.
Okay, yeah. So we got the goal line stand there, and then here, you know, we're up 7-0. You know, we're grinding the ball there at that time, and unfortunately, you know, part of the game we end up putting the ball on the ground inside the 20, and it leads to their first score, and you can see they're excited, and you know, they have every right to be. Unfortunate situation, but that's part of it. You got to deal with it. You know what happened there? I'll say this very quickly, is that, you know, they had put together a 16-play drive, and we hold them on the goal line stand, and then we get the ball back. Again, awful field position, but we're excited to get the ball back, and we take it out, and a couple plays, and that was the fourth play of that drive, 4 quick plays. So our defense had been on the field for 16 plays. We hold them. We turn the ball over on the fourth play, and they don't take too long to get in the end zone. So here we come out on first down, hit Terrell up the sideline, Terrell Washington, nice throw and catch again. I think, you know, we get up inside the 10, and we'll see what the next clip is. Yeah, I think this.
All right.
Okay, this ends up getting called back. I think they might have called holding on number 64, which, you know, sometimes the video shows differently. We get in the end zone. The play gets called back. Unfortunately, and, you know, again, this would have put us up in the game, and then it leads to, you know, I think this play here, where we have a bust in protection. Actually, we've got what we call a run-pass combo there, and we just busted on the blocking scheme. Allows that guy to come through free, and we turn the ball over. So they end up going down and kicking a field goal, and it leads to this situation here where Carson and MJ get hooked up. You see Mr. Sammons is excited, our band director, everybody's excited. Vero fans go on, and we get the big win. So I think it ends with this play here. This is their last-ditch effort to try and score, and we got big Pat Bethel coming through on the sack, and that kind of tells the story. You see the excitement with Vero and the disappointment with Sebastian, and it was a hard-fought game, and I think it was well played by both groups. And I couldn't be more proud of our guys.
And you talk about cleaning it up. You know, you only had 2 offsides calls versus 4 in the first half. but the turnovers, you were -2, which that hurts a lot, especially when you're driving and, like you said, your defense is on the field for so long. I mean, that hurts.
Yeah, we like I said, the different types of adversity that you face or you're faced with, some that you have something to say about and do about, some that you don't. And both those turnovers, one was in our own territory, which led to a score. One was inside the 10 going into score. So no matter how how you flip that or how you turn it, that's a big potential point swing there. And all that said, we were able to handle our business, come away with a win, go into the playoffs on a high note, playing at a very high level right now, and super excited.
Tab, the game of the year, Derek. When we come back after these messages, we're going to wrap this game up, and then we're going to preview the Gateway playoff game coming to you this Friday night, Billy Evans Field in the Citrus Bowl, and we're going to raise the effort out of this one over here. Don't go anywhere. It's the Coach's Show on the Buzz after these messages.
Hi, I'm Carolyn.
And I'm Jim. Together we are the Live Now real estate team at RE/MAX Associated Realty.
We know the Sebastian area real estate market very well, and we also know that buying or selling a home can be very serious business.
But together we can reduce the stress and even have fun in the process. Along with our hundreds of satisfied clients, we really want you to live now and be happy too.
Contact us at thelivenowteam.com.
See you soon.
And get them out, hold them up. It's the fourth. It's the fourth turn of the Coach's Show right here with Lenny, Jankowski, and your boys, the Sideline guys, and Buzz TV. Thanks for joining us. We're going to wrap up the Sebastian River game real quick. There was a controversial call that could have hinged. The game could have went either way, Coach, and that was on the kickoff. I think right after they kicked their field goal and went up, there was a fair catch by Corbin. Lewis Smith comes down for the Sharks, taps the ball away, recovers it. Nobody knows what's going on.
Right.
Walk us through it.
Well, when somebody fair catches the ball, this is the universal signal. I'm not waving. Yeah, the universal signal for fair catch. And on a punt or a kickoff, you have to give that person the opportunity to field the football. There was, as you mentioned, their kid makes a nice, athletic play, illegal play, but athletic, and so we're sitting there. I don't know. It felt like 15 minutes, and as it just so happens, it happened, on their sideline. Right. So the conference and everything is going on their sideline, involving their coaches, and I'm sitting there in a very helpless feeling. I'll tell you. And I was on the headset. I said, guys, we may be getting hosed here. And I don't mean that, in a bad way. I don't mean that in a bad way. But it just appeared that maybe they didn't know, how to rule on that. And everybody's capable of making mistakes. So we were ready to deal with it if the opportunity presented itself. We surely had enough time to deal with it because it felt, like I said, it felt like eternity. Anyway, that being said, I think that everything got cleared up, and there's a 15-yard penalty for the interference of the fair catch, and so they marked it off. They actually had another penalty on the play for their coach coming out on the field, or one of their coaches coming out on the field, and they had been warned about that earlier, so they tacked on an additional 5 yards on the play, and so they kicked it off from, I think, the 20 instead of the 40. So that's kind of how all that happened. It was one of those plays where everybody, I think, was sitting there wondering what is going to happen. And it was it ended up for the most part. I think they got it right. I know that the part about allowing the guy to have the opportunity to catch it. I thought everybody should know that. I mean, my wife knows that part. but yeah. So anyway, but we got it all worked out. We were able to, what we needed and what we wanted was the ball back, and we had that opportunity, and we're able to finish it out.
Huge successful night, Derek. Great game. 210 plates sold for the Scholarship Foundation. A lot of stuff was going on that night.
Yeah, it was good. Now, as a coach, I'm sure you, of course, would like to have won by a greater margin, but does this kind of help you going into the playoffs because you got in a little bit of a dogfight before you got in there, especially with the ease that you've been beating opponents all year?
Yeah, I think more than anything, every opportunity, every situation that you go through a long season. I mean, the season is such a grind, and all those situations that you're faced with, your team's faced with, I think they have huge value. In a game like this, where obviously there's a lot of different obstacles, and there's different variables that come up during the course of a game. We talked about the different types of adversity. I think all those situations, and then playing in what as you coined, a defensive battle, and scoring late, and all those kinds of things. I think that's of huge value. And the other thing that's pretty cool, and from our players' standpoint, is that, and I mentioned this earlier, that never was there any panic.
Right.
It was, okay, what do we need to do to win the game? I think, I heard a defensive lineman say, just get the ball back, and it doesn't take long for the offense to score, kind of thing. And the defense, and the offense is just talking to the defense, and defense is playing at such a high level. We're playing well on special teams. So I think that, I think in a lot of ways it does do a lot for confidence, and recognizing that hey, we could be very good in all three phases if we put it all together. We could be in this thing for 5 weeks, this playoff season, and I think on the flip side, I think every team that's in it is good enough to beat anybody else. So it could be a one week deal. So. That's kind of what we've talked about here earlier in the week, and I think our players recognize it, and I think we'll have a great week of practice, and hopefully put our best foot forward on Friday night.
Derek's talked so much, we got to wrap this thing up, Coach. So in 1 minute or less, what kind of threat does Gateway pose, and how do we win the football game this Friday night?
They're talented. I know that sometimes when as you mentioned, perception is that you're playing a runner-up. They're a 7-3 football team in the Orlando area against a strong schedule. They've got a dual-threat quarterback who's a two-way player. I mean, he's a Michigan State commitment. He's a big kid. He can throw it. He plays corner on defense as a lockdown corner. I think that's kind of their big name marquee player. But then they got some other guys, some very talented backs, some tough linemen. So it'll be a challenge. They're a spread type offense, multiple on defense. They're talented and athletic enough to play some man coverage. So we've got some work cut out for us. I anticipate it being a great football game, and not a better way to start the playoffs.
Tickets on sale now, $8. When can they go get them?
Tuesday and Thursday from 4 to 7 at the Performing Arts Center, and then Friday morning from 9 to 1 also at the Performing Arts Center. It's a general admission ticket, $8 playoff ticket. The FHSAA sets those prices, and as everybody, all our fans watching know that we've got a great setup. We've made some adjustments since the home side is not usable. We've got the temporary stands just as we did for homecoming, so we're excited about it.
Road to the state championship starts this Friday, 7:30, because they changed the time, right?
7:30.
Playoffs, FHSAA always getting their hands in the middle of it. Starting this week, Billy Livingstone Field, Citrus Bowl. Don't miss it. Don't stand in line, get your ticket now. We'll see you there. Have a great week, you knuckleheads. That'll do it for us right here on Buzz TV.